it down, presenting, stepping through. It's I got it. They're opening a door to enter through it. Yes, I got it. I was trying to figure out this whole time, what does this mean? My name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. We're taking a look at 17's Home. It's a choreography video. I'm excited about it because I've had a couple of people, whenever I do reactions to 17, they have requested this one specifically, so I'm excited that I'm able to get to it. Yeah, so I feel like let's just go ahead and get into it. Let's see. Whoa! You just did 3 barrel jumps in a row. And very well, might I add. That was fun. You just 2, 3 in the pre-chorus, so it's like a multiple time kind of endeavor. Okay. That's a great hair color. Yeah. Wow, okay. I really like that one. Really great focal points for that one, to where it's it was very chill, but I could tell there's a lot of technical elements about it that made it really refined and showed complexity. So that was a really great middle ground for me. Like, because you don't want a group to have this concept for too long. Really dive into multiple concepts, because your fan base is going to be more varied depending on how well you can competently execute multiple genres of perspective, right? So I really like that we're in this era of it's chill, but it's still refined, and there is some difficulty still into it, and I love it. This right here, just from the beginning, having the crossover with the fingers implementing that with the move of the head. Really great choice with a lot of headography. I know we saw a little bit of head ISOs in the last one that I saw from them, but it's cool to see more just the placement and the dynamics of the speed changes and the tension and the just the intention with the head. I very much enjoyed here. They pull it up with the snaps, really fun. Having your first feature, of course, turn to face the front. They walk, and I love that the feature, I do say this a lot, and I think that's okay that I say it a lot. It just shows that they're consistent with executing this concept. I really like, with these types of formations, this one really feels like a beefed up version of one that I had already seen, where they did just walking and then they kind of branched off into their own formations. But here it's their feature is still integrated in what's happening, very much so here, which I love. And they turn, and for that first one, he looks the opposite way, but in order for them all to look the same way, which I think is really appropriate. I love when my next feature kind of shows like a foreshadowing involvement into the track, and then he's the next feature, and I love it. He takes his hand and pulls just your first feature, and it causes everybody to move. And I love that with the head, boom, boom. It kind of feels like a really nice broken up, like a Toy Man. But I wouldn't even go that far to really call it that. But I love having this rebounded head. It's isolated, and that's what's really nice, is that you don't see the full body moving. You just see the chest moving, and the head is isolated. So they are making micro adjustments in the neck to help with that. And then you have him turn, having your next guy. Now notice he did technically the same choreography as what everybody else did, but he just switched the foot. So he's walking backwards, but he's doing his right foot and they're doing their left. But the direction is still going front to back. So I would say the direction's the same, but he had to switch his feet in order to make it match what everybody else was doing. Matching through, and then he had to cheat it, so he had to go on the foot he just finished tapping on, place the weight to hinge over to go to the next part. Then having your next guy just walk forward, that was a really great telltale sign that this formation was about to dissolve, but it was very structured in how they dissolved it. Now down more to the more performance, we have our on number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 here, which is cool. You have 4 on one side, 3 on the other side, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And I really appreciate when they are present with each other. They're not really having side conversations on the side. Funnily enough, I think I only saw that once. Out of 20 something reactions at this point, I've only seen them disengage from what's happening in the center one time so far. Freaking incredible, the discipline and the professionalism of them, because you do have to remember, this is their line of work. This is what they do for a living. And I would say this is their job, right? And so I think that just showcasing the level of professionalism for them when they're doing that, they're taking care of their choreography videos and their dance practices as much as they are with their music videos and their other lines of work that is actual involvement with the public. I very much appreciate even these instances where we get to see their professionalism showcased. So having this build up nice with unison here, it's nice just having a nice little moment in the upper with one arm really creating just more of a spherical kind of position in the air, and then taking it and bringing it around, building it through, one of them taking his hand around and causing everybody to hinge, which is really fun, dropping down, and then from here, this is only one of the first times where we don't see who our feature is, and I'm going to assume that it's my middle guy right here, possibly. And this is a barrel turn. They're doing 3 in a row. Very impressed with the fact that they all landed the same way. That is difficult to do with 13 people. It is. And especially with varying degrees. I mean, they've worked together for a long time, but with just varying degrees of competency within techniques. That's what I mean by that. But it's really nice to see them execute at least the direction and the timing really close together. I would say the micro nuances of the actual barrel is a little different, but I think it's just really nice and impressive. My big note here is you can tell that not everybody is bringing in the foot at the exact same time. Some of them are not picking it up as big. So whenever you're dealing with really big extroverted techniques or extroverted movement, those are just little things that'll kind of lower the refinement of your synchronicity, but I think it's still really fun. Having your two here, they're nice, they're framing it. Doing a barrel, but walking backwards on it, which helps enhance, which is nice. That da-da-da-da-da, bring it up. Having them turn. Revealing, honestly, this is a great way to use the height to their advantage because they are obviously taller than him. And so them moving and completely revealing a new feature without him having to try, I think is, part of it's partially funny, but part of it is really cool and very, I think it's a really great way to transition. Yeah, I love with the use of the head and the foot. Anytime that you see the head be used to help complement another part of the body, I always think it's very tasteful and it feels more full, and it shows more refinement and maturity within the particular perspective. It feels like you're more comfortable in what you're pursuing, even if it's not as comfortable as just moving your head. It makes it more complex and more engaging. I love this. Drop it, super fun. That swivel with a throw. I love this drop to up, bleeding it over. Love that, where they have this as a fixed point, and then they're having a lot of these grooves taking place in the bottom half. Super fun. That was such a smooth transition. He just slid like he had some Heelys. I love that switch there with the taps, with the toes and the heels. We know they've shown us in previous comebacks or previous videos I've seen already. They are very familiar with how to use the balls of the feet and the heels and the variants between those. So it is really nice to see them do it in a more refined way. It helps tie together the upper body a little bit better. Melting through, so now showcasing your new feature. Love of the overhead, melting it through, picking up the speed, which really enhances and creates and intensifies the perspective they're trying to justify. I love it with the snaps, bringing that back again. That suction of air really causes this to suck the formation closer, because if you think when a formation is spaced out, there's more space, more air present. But whenever a really good way to showcase that in formations is to make it more condensed, not as much air in between or space in between your dancers. So I really love that choreographic choice. I love that home, and they're kind of pulling it down, presenting, stepping through. It's their I got it. They're opening a door to enter through it. Yes, I got it. I was trying to figure out this whole time, what does this mean? They are opening a door and they are walking in to a home. Oh, that makes me feel so happy I caught that. If I'm wrong, don't correct me. I want to feel right. Just kidding. Please let me know if I'm actually wrong. But I really think that's what that is, and I caught it by just thinking about that. I love it bleeding through. That's right here. Home. This is so fun. It's so... it's really fun. I love that. And they bleed it. Home. Come up. Super fun. I'm going to be honest. I think the reason why I just got so excited about really getting that is because the last one I just watched, I really don't think I got that one as much as I feel like I should have. So I'm relying way more on my carrots to help me with that. But this one, I feel really in the know. Home, the imagery of a door. Like I feel like I know this one a lot more, so I'm a little bit more excited. So sorry. Yeah, it feels like they're presenting themselves, and that's what I think that's what that imagery is supposed to showcase. It's fun to have that there. Bleeding it through, having these nice kind of lackadaisical moments to a more thrashing, more aggressive pocket right after. I love this movement here. Home. I love how they did that. Home. And they swung it because he swung the da-da. Da-da-da-da. I love that. So fun. Love this too, where they're moving like that. There's your walks on tempo. I'm a fan of a walking on tempo. I love this too, where they have those lanes and then they swirl around to have your new feature. Great. And then they interact with him. Love that. They didn't just leave him alone to be isolated. So fun having it through, kind of doing not quite a thread. I don't think that's a thread. And they kind of grab and throw through, grab the chest right all the way through. And then he has this moment walking forward. There's somebody else interacting with him. Yeah. Da 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 da. Yeah. So it's just nice. A great job interacting. 2, 3, and this is what I was expecting on my first guy. Good chance when they do this live, my first guy who would be featuring, I would really hope that he also walks because I want him to have confidence behind singing. Doing a barrel roll and singing, I don't know how practical that is, especially if you're in a concert setting. So y'all let me know if that is the case when they did this live. But how, I think it was is this Holshi, right? He's one of your like main dancers for 17, I believe. Yes, I think I have the confidence for that. And he even didn't do it. So I'm saying that like it's just interesting how it was more full, and then he isolated and moved forward. So that was cool to see the choices in this choreography video. And then they have those two moments. They're kind of going around. They walk now, and they walk as well. So now you don't have your member there like you're expecting. It's just another one walking through. It's really cool to see this kind of curtaining formation works better here because it helps justify you're walking into somewhere or you're presenting into somewhere, and that helps with this kind of imagery being home. So I love that. I love that boom with that reverb. And how they choose to do that is they have to lock up their it's their pecs, their pectorals muscles, as well as the upper part of the bicep tricep, while creating a sense of not overly tensing. You don't want to over tense all of it. This is going to be more relaxed, and that's where most of your reverb is going to come from, is this upper part. That melt through, it just kind of feels like they're releasing pressure, and they use their foot to do that. Super cool. Dipping through and kind of right into the next part. Swivel down with the feet. That cross it, so it's really subtle because it's the higher the note, it's harder to register. So it feels very tiny, you know, like little birds, you know, and small creatures have higher sounds, right? So when you hear a falsetto, it sounds more intimate, more innocent, right? It sounds quieter, and normally you don't hear that from in that way. So it's doing more subtle movement helps justify that because of birds, and they're really small children. Normally children before puberty, they're smaller. So that's why I really like that choice of when the falsetto, they chose to do a more subtle choreographic approach there. Yeah. Da da da, knock knock at the bottom, super fun. Love that boom. I love that with the footwork, dripping it down, super cool. I just really love it. I love the footwork and the crossovers a lot here in the overheads. We've already kind of seen that already. Melting it through. Yeah, and then we're building it up with the switcheroo. Love that. That melt through. Love that. Next person, body rolls. Turning in. I know I complimented his hair. I still believe that. Love his hair. If I colored my hair again, it would be that shade. I love that shade a lot. Melting it through. I love this. They did it from a single to double, and they just did it per line. And it's really nice because you need enough space for this to make sure that it's very clear for each line, especially in your back. You want to be able to see the back and to be able to do that, especially if you're staying on the same level. But now, having them all slowly go down, looking side to side. That is a little bit harder than you think. Instead of just going down, looking side to side, it's really, your body's going to want to lean in those directions. But, which is what you see right here. They are leaning, but all of them are committing to it. There's no one over isolating or overly leaning on each side, which is why it looks very tasteful. They look over to the side, still have that moment right there. In the middle, they come up with a snap, and they come up to finish. Yep. And having that moment to just exist, and then go right back into it. Super fun. And they hit it up into, so they hit it as a rebound, coming back down to do something really subtle in the build. Super cool choice. And then they bleed it up at the top, like I've already mentioned. I love having the two frame of your two features to easily transition one feature to the next. Love that. Everybody here opening their door again. We keep saying that until I'm told otherwise. Having your feature be super subtle. Using his body when everybody else is using their hands to the front. It's a really cool choice. And then they finish presenting themselves out. So, all in all, that was really fun. I enjoyed it. I feel like I'm way more on top of the imagery of this track in comparison to the one I just watched. But yeah, this has been super fun, and I feel like the more I watch these, the more I'm able to understand the maturity that they are presenting as a group as a whole, as well as the ebbs and flows of the concepts they choose to pursue as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that was helpful in some way. If you want to see more 17 reactions, I have them all over YouTube as well as on Patreon. They are all early released on Patreon. And if you are seeing this one in particular on YouTube, I have had this out for a while on Patreon, as well as all the other 17 reactions you may not see on this channel, because I have them there. And as they do comebacks, I release about 2-3 at a time of the older reactions. So if you are a 17 fan, I think that would be a great place to go check out all of the reactions. I think I got about, I'm gonna have about 50 at the end of it. That's what it feels like, but I don't mind it at all. I think it's gonna be super fun and really enjoyable. Thank you guys again for watching. I'm Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.